When most travelers dream of Europe, their eyes drift to the same familiar names. But along the sapphire Adriatic lies a country that folds together everything. Old-world grandeur, wild landscapes, sunlit food, music in the streets, and still feels like a secret. Croatia is the door you didn't know you were meant to open. Step through and you'll find a coastline carved by time and salt. Cities that gleam under morning light, and festivals that electrify the night. Today, you'll explore the 8 wonder cities of Croatia, each a masterpiece of history, sea, and spirit, woven together like notes in a timeless song. By the end, you'll understand why those who come leave with the ache to return. The language is Croatian, written in Latin script, but you won't be lost. In cafes and markets, you'll hear English, German, Italian, and the rhythm of people used to welcoming strangers. Croatia's history is layered. Romans carving stone, medieval builders raising arches, Renaissance traders steering fortunes at sea. It's why the country is dotted with UNESCO marvels, cathedrals that ring in the wind, palace walls that have outlived empires, plains etched with vines since antiquity. The food carries Italy's flair, Ottoman spices, Hungarian stews, Austrian sweets, and the catch of the day brought in by fishermen. Over 100 native grapes thrive here, wines that taste of hills and sea air. In summer, music shakes split during Ultra Europe, while in Sinj, riders thunder in the Sinjska Alka, a ritual of history and pride. Down the coast, Dubrovnik rises like a dream of stone. Once Ragusa, it was a clever republic trading wits with Venice. The city is wrapped in limestone walls 2 kilometers long. From them, the red roofs ripple below and the sea shines like glass. The Rector's Palace blends Gothic and Renaissance grace, while Sponza Palace once guarded the fortunes of sailors. Each July, the Dubrovnik Summer Festival turns the city into a stage. Music in cloisters, theater in courtyards, dancers against warm stone. Inside the Franciscan monastery lies one of Europe's oldest pharmacies and a library scented of leather and parchment. Beyond the gates, steep lanes climb, familiar to fans of a certain fantasy epic, though the real city's heartbeat runs deeper. To protect itself from too much love, Dubrovnik wisely limits crowds, keeping history alive at a human pace. Inland, Plitvice lakes unfold as a chain of turquoise mirrors. Cascades braid and whisper, building travertine terraces like nature's patient architecture. Wooden paths loop over glowing water, green in shade, blue where the sky descends. In the forest move deer, boar, wolves, and the brown bear that has ruled longer than imagination. Raptors circle above, dragonflies stitch the air, boats glide across Lake Kozjak. Each season paints the park anew: spring renewal, summer fullness, autumn gold, winter fairy tale. Strict care guards the fragile terraces, a reminder that beauty must be loved gently or not at all. Back at sea, Hvar wears sunlight like silk. the fortress Spanjola crowns the town, while below it sits one of Europe's oldest public theaters, opened in 1612. Lavender fields throw purple across the hills, olives silver in the breeze, vineyards cling to slopes. A glass of Plavac Mali carries swagger and depth. The climate is generous, the food simple and fresh. Fish caught that morning, grilled and finished with green olive oil. By dusk, harborside lounges glow with laughter, music spirals from courtyards, and luxury yachts drift in and out. Beneath the glamour, Hvar tends its heritage, protecting terraces, coves, and the clean water where reflections dance around your waist. Split began as a retirement dream and became a masterpiece of urban life. Emperor Diocletian built his seaside palace in the 4th century, and today it is a living ruin. Apartments tucked behind columns, cafes and temples, laundry fluttering like flags. The Split Summer Festival fills the courtyards with opera, theater, and dance. Ferries nose out to the islands carrying locals and baskets of figs and tomatoes. Taste soparnik, the genius charred pie, or prosciutto with a glass of sage-scented wine. Modern galleries and bars blend into the imperial stone. When Ultra Europe arrives, the waterfront becomes a second heartbeat. Farther north, Zadar reveals its layers. The Roman Forum lies open beside St. Donatus Church, a 9th century hymn in stone. On the quay, the sea organ turns waves into music, breathing through pipes to exhale an eerie harmony. Nearby, the sun salutation drinks daylight and spills it back as kaleidoscope at night, where families gather to chase colors. Local flavors shine too. Pag cheese, sharp and clean, seafood straight from market, and maraschino liqueur from native cherries, a dark sweetness that lingers. West in Istria, Rovinj paints itself in pastels along the sea. Once an island, it still feels intimate, with cobbled lanes rising to St. Euphemia Church and its Venetian tower. Artists chase the light, which softens without erasing. Around it, the Rovinj archipelago scatters like beads on velvet. Cycle through Golden Cape pines or sail into Lim Bay's silence. Markets brim with oils, fish, and truffles that crown handmade pasta. A glass of Malvasia warms the evening. Among the islands, Korcula waits behind medieval walls. Its towers rise with stone authority. Legend names it Marco Polo's birthplace. Myth or not, the island embraces it. The clever herringbone street plan shields against wind and heat, while St. Mark's Cathedral lifts its Gothic Renaissance face. On some nights, steel clashes in rhythm, the Mareshka sword dance, a living inheritance of rivalry and grace. Beyond the walls lie forests, coves, reefs, and vineyards of Poship and Gurk, wines salted with sun and sea. Olive oil fragrant as a bouquet drizzles over fish and bread fresh from the oven. On the mainland, Krka National Park is a procession of waterfalls. Skredinsky Buk descends in broad veils, Roshki Slap in lace-like tears. At its heart, Visavak Island cradles a monastery where silence feels tangible. Ospreys loft overhead, dragonflies flicker in sunlight, amphibians slip into water. Some species remain shy and rare, guarded carefully. An ethno-village remembers daily life with mill wheels and workshops. Walking paths set your pace to the river, or you can drift by boat as it explains itself bend by bend. Then Zagreb, the capital that feels like lifetimes folded into one day. In the upper town, the cathedral pierces the sky. St. Mark's Church glitters under its tiled roof. Down below, squares and parks host conversation, and cafes chart the city's rhythm. Tkalchicheva Street buzzes with chatter. For the bittersweet of being human, the Museum of Broken Relationships displays ordinary objects made sacred by memory. The Croatian National Theatre glows with chandeliers and velvet, home to opera and ballet. In winter, Zagreb becomes a fairy tale. Advent lights the squares, cinnamon floats in the air, ice rinks loop around parks. For quiet, Maksimir Park opens its lungs, and Medvednica rises with trails where nature begins just beyond the tram lines. Croatia, heard as a single composition, blends past and present. People gather in markets, DJs light nights, monks tend libraries. Winemakers argue over hillsides, and grandmothers shape dough without recipes. Each place carries meaning. Dubrovnik is a civic lesson in protecting what you love. Plitvice, a geological grace. Hvar, a cultural stage under the sun. Split, proof that ruins can become rooms. Zadar, both forum and song. Rovinj, where Venice meets Istria. Korcula, a dance of steel and tide. Krka, a manifesto in water. Zagreb, the country's conversation with itself. Awe opens the door. Usefulness keeps us there. Croatia gives both. Awe in the light on stone, the sea at noon, the cliff path to a hidden cove. Usefulness in ferries that run steady, trails marked kindly, menus rooted in season. Locals quick with directions that come as stories. Novelty feeds discovery. Croatia offers novelty with depth. Sea organs, sword dances, monasteries on islands, theaters older than nations. Nostalgia comes uncurated. Slipping in as you imagine another life lived between bell chimes and market mornings. Festivals provide the social proof of bodies moving together at dusk. Scarcity sharpens desire. Even the most famous places still keep corners that feel yours alone. An alley scented of coffee, a viewpoint untagged, a beach at dawn where the Adriatic holds its breath. These are the moments you'll carry home, the ones you'll send to friends with the caption, "You have to see this." Here's the truth under the details. Croatia doesn't ask you to be anyone but a person willing to look. That is the secret. Stand on medieval walls and watch the sun pull color from the sea. Follow a boardwalk where water braids into lace. Climb a fortress and feel the wind that has crossed since ships bore painted eyes. Sit by an organ that sings the tide back to you. Wander a square where swords still meet. Taste a grape that didn't need a name to be great. Let a city teach you that ruins can be rooms. Rooms can be stages, and stages can be streets. Croatia is no detour, no substitute, no consolation. It is a masterpiece in plain sight, waiting for you to step into the frame. If you're already tracing coastlines and whispering dates, then you've felt what travelers here understand. Some places don't just give you a trip, they recalibrate your sense of time, taste, and scale. Pack light, leave space in your days. Don't conquer the itinerary. Let the country carry you. Let bells mark the morning. Cafes shape the afternoon. Water close the evening. Then, when someone asks why you've changed, you'll tell them about a coastline shining like a blade and tenderness folded into old stone. And you'll smile as you admit, I think I found Europe's best kept secret.